Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this episode number 249 of the Good Morning Guys podcast, thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we talk about the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and to play. I am one of your hosts tonight, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge, the jury, and the executioner of that there fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novacell.
I'm so proud of you. You got the episode number right.
Hey.
You know?
Broken clock. Right twice a day.
I saw something on TikTok, and it was like, there's probably a minute during the day that you've never seen on a clock. Do you think that's true?
Like, wait, like any clock?
Any
analog,
any clock.
digital
a time during the day that you've never seen on a clock. Do you think that's possible?
I don't know that it would be possible, just because.
Like, have you ever seen like a 3:56 a.m. before?
Yes.
I don't know who remembers that.
Well,
let me put that in my little. Let me check my. Well, actually, I saw it just last night. It was right there, 3:56.
I can totally see you, Lucas, having a checkboard. Like, yep,
I've
seen it.
Let me, you know what? Let me check my checkboard here. Checkboard, like on my wall. It's like, oh, good. Look, I saw 7:05. So excited.
You know what? Do it.
That's my life goal bucket list, to see every time humanly possible.
Stay up for 24 hours.
Just stare at a clock for 24 hours. I saw all of it. I've seen it all.
Have you heard about Lucas? He's insane now.
Yeah, isn't that great? It's Patrick's fault.
7:54. It's 7:54. It's 7:54.
You're like, what time is it, Lucas? I'm like, 9:55. I've seen that 375 times since I was 7 years old. Oh, what have we done? Created a monster. No, but like, how many options is that? You know, there's
2,400
in terms
options.
of seeing minutes, there's 60 minutes in an hour.
2,400 options. Yeah.
And then there's 24 hours in a day. Wait, 2,400 options?
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, when you're talking about military time, 0 to 2,400, right?
0 to 2,400.
Yeah, that's military time.
Yeah.
No, actually, there's 2,399 options, because at 2,400 it's zeros. Oh, in your face.
No,
Well,
it doesn't go to 2,499, 2,459.
No, I said 2,399. There is no 2,400 hours. It's zeros.
But it doesn't go up to 99, though. It goes up to 59.
Dang it.
Well,
then that doesn't
check
work.
mark is too big. I never see the 77 mark.
You didn't do it right. Listen, there's 60 minutes in an hour. There's 24 hours. It's 1,440 options. There's not 2,400 options. There's not 100 minutes in each of the 24 hours.
That's right.
You started it off wrong. You threw me off. I blame you.
Actually, let me check my calculator.
I did my calculator here.
Took a while, but we got there.
I mean,
people
I
are
would
yelling
expect
out,
any less.
what are you guys thinking, you idiots? Yep, we are.
No. At this point, everybody who listens to us are idiots themselves, so they don't call us idiots. They're just like, "Yep, that's what I thought too."
They're probably like, Pat is right. It is 2,400.
We're gonna be idiots together.
I'm sure right now, if people are listening to this together, they're arguing right now with each other. No, I didn't think that. You did. Can't believe you thought that, idiot. All right, enough of that. We should introduce other people that are here. Back from the dead, the final member of the GMG Quadfecta, who's here tonight, who was on sabbatical, who was temporarily deceased, and he was so dead that we can smell him from across hemispheres and his stink. But he's back. He's at it. He's got music in his heart, Doctor Who on his brain, and La Carreta in his old stomacho. The artist formerly known as Carcass, Marc Boucher. Welcome back.
Guess who's back? Back again. Boucher's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Okay, I'll stop.
Hey, Patrick. Patrick, Mark's back. I was supposed to tell a friend. That's what
Oh,
he
hi,
said.
Mark.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
I hope
The only one who's not with us is the very deceased Ronald Johansson. He's the volleyball and beastie of the East who can make you laugh in 3 words or less or your money back. But tonight you're getting your money back because he's not going to make you laugh at all. Unless we talk about him and make fun of him. Then he's kind of making you laugh. So
You know what? I
It
think
might-
it's
work.
if Ronnie can make you laugh in 3 words or less, or your money back. There's a lot of times he can say 2 words and he makes me laugh.
Right.
Is that his day job?
Should be.
I mean, right?
Is it his day job? I thought
I mean, how much money are people giving him to make him laugh in 3 words or less?
I don't know. It's a good question.
we're thinking again.
Are we doing calculations again? It's 2,400. That's how much he gets. 2,400. No, it's 23.99. All right.
Yeah.
Enough of that.
That's a little bit
Mark.
less than the new VR headset from Apple.
Fair enough.
That is
Agreed.
true. That is true. Here you go. Ready for tech talk? Let's talk about Apple Visions or whatever it's called.
Anybody
iVisions,
got $3,500 lying around for a
Hey, you know
VR
what?
headset that nobody uses?
There's a lot of people out there that are going to buy it. And when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, you guys are finally getting into like the Google Glass business. And then they just show a VR headset. I'm like, well, that's not, people aren't just going to wear that walking around town. These
It's Apple though. People are just
funky
going to be like,
things.
"Oh, I will buy it because it's
Now,
Apple."
well,
now-
that's true.
let me catch you on that. Well, actually, it's Mark fact. It's not a VR device. It's an AR device. The difference is
Did I say VR device?
you did.
I'm sorry. I wasn't meaning. I was just meaning like it has a mask like a VR.
Right, fair enough. But
That's
yeah,
what I
it
mean.
basically
I don't mean
Go
that
ahead,
it's
Google
VR.
it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
It
'cause
is.
you're not-
It is. You're right. It is an AR device, but I was just talking about how it's like a VR looking mask. Like it's not
I
like
gotcha.
glasses. It's not like, hey, I'm just got these on my face and I'm gonna just put them on top of my head while I'm talking to you and then put them down when I'm ready.
Well, give them some time. I'm sure they'll shrink down the form factor at some point. But the first one's always like super ridiculously large. But I think it's cool, but I don't think it's $3,499 cool.
Yeah.
I just don't have the pocket change for that. So
Nope.
but I like the idea that they're setting in terms of like if it's doing everything that they say it's gonna do, I think it's really cool. But again, you're gonna have to lower that price.
They will.
and-
I mean,
and you-
everything like this always starts out super expensive, then it goes down.
I'm on theverge.com about the Apple Vision Pro. Apple's this is the tagline. Apple's new "Don't call it a VR headset" is the best riff on some familiar ideas, but still searching for a purpose. And then throughout the entire article, it says it's a really nice VR headset. It's an essential VR headset. It behaves like a VR headset. It's like don't call it a VR headset. You have it,
Even
in your
though it
tagline.
is.
But yeah, it's oh man, I didn't realize how in depth this was. But yeah, I'm not wearing this. It looks like it's like a skier's goggles.
Yes, that did remind me of that skiers goggles back in the
Yep.
day. Loved skiers goggles.
Just got off the slopes. Now I'm going to do some productivity and maybe watch a movie later.
Yes, while I'm going down the slopes, let me watch John Wick.
But there's
3.
no controllers for that thing. Like, how do you? It
doesn't need
weird.
it.
It's
It
all
just
hand
it's got
gestures
cameras and it's
and eyes.
always watching. Always watching.
What if you're looking at something? You're like, I didn't want to look at that. Like,
Too bad.
too bad.
I didn't mean to click on that. No.
Yeah, no, undo.
I
How do
don't
you
want to buy
undo?
that.
There's no
Clear
control
history.
Z. Where is it?
Clear history. No, but yeah, no, you do a lot of the movement with like your hands. You just do it in the air, or you can
Like
actually
be a true player.
yes,
Oh,
or
you're
you
playing a
can look
guitar.
at it
Okay.
with your eyes or anything like that. But yeah, it's AR in the fact that like you technically can still see the world around you, unlike VR, where you're completely like immersed. It's just the things pop up in front of you. So
Like
Really?
that.
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, all that to say, I think it's cool, but Too rich
Cool.
for my blood.
Cool.
I don't
Well,
know.
Mark,
Can you
that was a
sell
weird
enough
way.
blood?
That was a weird way to start your update, Mark, to talk about the.
That's all that
VR
happened was
headset.
the Apple Vision Pro. That's the only thing that happened in the 2 months that I've been gone.
Since you've been gone,
No. I love that song.
Oh man, that song's great. Anyways,
Yeah, so obviously I left for some mental health reasons, needed to step away from a lot of things, and kind of stop spinning plates. And so I did that just in time to start spinning some more plates.
yay! Isn't that how life works?
Right.
Well, things just happened to blossom while I was gone. First off, so I switched doctors. Because for the longest time, y'all know I've been having some health issues over the past couple of years, lost a bunch of weight because of it, because I changed up my diet to try to help my health. But for the longest time, my doctor was kind of spitballing. I felt like he was treating symptoms, but not the root cause. And so I decided to switch doctors and go to a completely new doctor. And when I first started describing all my symptoms to him, everything that was going on, he asked me, he said, "Have you ever been tested for what's called alpha-gal syndrome?"
Uh,
Oh no, we lost.
can you hear him? Because I
Nope.
cannot hear him.
Nope,
We
he's
lost
gone.
you, Marcus.
Oh,
It made
can you hear
a-
me now?
Oh, there you
Oh,
are.
there he is. You're back. He's back.
Man, I hope this is not going to be a
Whoa.
thing. Am I still here?
You're still here.
It's-
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
burping a little bit, but you're there.
So the Alpha Protocol.
Alpha
what was
gal.
Alpha 5, yeah.
Alpha gal.
Yeah.
Alpha gal pal.
Yeah. So have you ever been tested for alpha-gal syndrome, which is basically so alpha-gal is a protein that's found in most like meats and mammalian type products, byproducts and stuff like that. And alpha-gal syndrome is mainly something you get through a tick bite. It's a tick-borne illness. And so he's like, "Have you ever had a blood test for that?" And so I was like, "Nope." And I'd had several friends that, because this part of the country, the type of tick that the alpha-gal syndrome comes from, it's actually native to this area. It's called the Lone Star tick. And so I had friends that have alpha-gal as well. And they asked the same question, like, "Have you ever been tested for alpha-gal?" I'm like, "Nope." And so when the doctor suggested, I'm like, "Well, I think it's time to get tested." So he did a blood test, and sure enough, alpha-gal syndrome positive.
What?
Yeah. So now the normal sort of way of treating that is I would have to avoid any beef, pork, lamb, any sort of mammal byproduct, any dairy, anything that comes from those animals, anything like that. I would have to avoid all of those foods, and even
For the rest of your life?
for the rest of your life.
No, not my life.
Well, for the rest of my life.
Your life.
He's like, "My life doesn't suck. Yours does."
Well, that's one way to take it. Yes. Continue before I dig myself a bigger hole. Right.
But
I'm under. I'm burying myself alive.
But there's actually there are these acupuncture therapists that they are able to do a particular type of therapy that you basically get a couple of pins stuck in your ear, because your body's made up of electrical impulses, and you're basically, what they're attempting to do is reroute those electrical impulses and make you resistant to the alpha-gal stuff, because the alpha-gal is permanently in your bloodstream. You can't get rid of it. What you're trying to do is build your body up to resist it. And so it was recommended to me to go to an acupuncturist. And so they stuck the pins in my ears. I had to keep it in my ear for 3 weeks. And
You just walk around with the pin in your ear?
well, the pins are very, very small.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like the acupuncture ones where it's like waving around.
You're not like that.
No, I just saw you like walking
It's
around
like
with these pins.
6
bouncing
inches
up and
out of his face.
What's
dude,
up, guys?
that's so
I'm
cool.
Pinhead from
Yeah.
Hellraiser.
It's a new
Hellraiser. Yeah.
style. I like that.
But no, they're very, very small, very discreet, and plus they put like a skin toned like bandage over that spot, so
Ah, okay.
nobody can see it. You'd
Okay.
really have to look into my ear and pay attention. And they also put like a little like a black marker dot right there, so that way if you look in the mirror or whatever, and you have to try to see like, oh, is it still there? You can tell it's still there. But yeah, basically every time I would have to get into the shower, I'd have this like, those like shower caps.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I had to have these like this little shower cap, ear size shower cap that I would have to put over my ear because you can't get your ear wet.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the natural oils in your ear actually help with the process of the treatment.
Huh.
So I had to do that every time I took a shower. I had to avoid all of that stuff that that could cause me issues with the alpha gal for 3 weeks. Which meant like cutting out so much stuff, and I had to really be considerate about ingredients, what's in particular foods. I had to go vegan.
Go vegan, right? Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say you might as well just go vegan.
The only exception is I can eat chicken and fish.
Yeah.
But
Oh, chicken and fish.
yeah, but I had to be really, really intentional about checking ingredients and everything for like 3 weeks. And then after that, I was able to take the pins out. They retested me, and according to the tests, the treatment worked. I am resistant to alpha gal, but I'm still having symptoms. So there's something else going on. It's
Fake
like,
news.
well,
Oh
Something
no.
yeah,
they just made up something so you'd stick those pins in your ears.
yeah. Well, it's like, well, we treated the alpha gal and you got that down, but apparently there's something else at play.
That's crazy.
So I'm probably going to go for a full allergy panel, and see if there's something else that I'm allergic to or something else going on. And we're going to try to go from there. But it didn't make any sense to repin in my ear, seeing as according to their treatment, it worked.
Mm.
But yeah, basically their testing for that is they have this like box that is attached to a wand, and you hold the wand up, and they set a particular type of like whether it's a beef item or pork or something like that. They put it on top of this machine, and then they tell you to lift your arm, and then they attempt to push your arm down, and you have to try to resist them putting your arm down. Now, if you have alpha gal, your arm, you have no choice; it will go down. Your arm will go down. You won't be able to keep the arm up. So when they tested me the first time, yeah, for beef, pork, lamb, dairy, all that fun stuff, like I could not keep my arm up. Yeah. So, but of course they retested, and now I'm resistant. So, but
So
the search
like
goes on.
so mammal stuff has become like your kryptonite. Like you
Yeah.
can't resist it. It's like
Yep.
you get near some beef or that
Yeah.
is something else.
Tim would be very sad. I'm
Oh yeah,
resistant.
bacon.
Yep. Sorry, trust me, it hurts. It hurts. But
Yeah.
yeah, the search goes on, and I'm making it work in terms of my diet, and Kristen's been awesome in, making foods that I can actually eat.
At least you got chicken and fish. I mean,
Yeah.
chicken's the most versatile meat, and
Praise God for that.
fish is, of course, I don't know if you want to fry it, but fish is one of the best, fried up kind of meats.
Yeah, you just have to be careful what you fry it with. Because
Yeah.
even like
Use the right kind of oil.
yeah. Because even things down to like even not that you would cook fish with, body wash and shampoo, but like basically any body wash, shampoo, toothpaste, that kind of stuff. They actually there are shampoos and things like that they use mammal byproducts in those items. So I have to
Yeah.
really be careful with that too. But yeah, just living life as best as possible under that. And then another bit of life happened. So Kristen has been really sort of burned out by her job, and she works in a call center at the university around here at Liberty. And for quite a while, she had been trying to find a new job, and it just wasn't working out. And it just got to the point where she's like, okay, I'm either going to get fired or going to be in the hospital if I don't
Mm.
get out of this job. And so we decided, number one, she did quit her job. And number two, she's been wanting for a long time to go back to school to get her library science degree.
Hmm.
And so she's made the decision we're going to go ahead and do that, and she's going to do it full time. And um, and because of that, obviously we're dropping one income. She's not going back to work. She's doing school full time. We made the decision and talked with Kristen's parents and made the decision to move in with them for the time while she is doing school and everything. And so that obviously, you notice here that I am in a completely new place. That's because we had to move out of our old home of 6 years.
Yeah.
And so I have been spending the better part of this month, working with her and with my in-laws to purge and downsize and everything, and pack everything up and move into the new place. Her parents' house, they have this like basement area that has a specific area you can use for a bedroom, one spot for an office, which is where I am, and
Hmm.
then one spot for the living room area and all that. So yeah, we packed up a lot of last week. We got down to really packing things up, and then Saturday we did the big move and did all the big stuff, and we are pretty much all moved in. There's like a couple of things left at the old house and then some cleaning to do, but otherwise we are fully moved in here at this location. And so it's different. It's definitely a lot of transition.
We lost your voice again, Marcus.
No.
Oh,
There's-
wait.
me now?
You're back.
Okay, it's weird. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, a lot of changing in schedules and things like that. But
Yeah. And living with your in-laws. I totally relate, as I lived with in-laws for many, many years. So
Yep.
you'll have some fun things that you probably won't want to share on the podcast, but you will have some fun experiences that will make life very interesting, because married
Yeah.
adults living with their parents is never boring.
Yeah, but her
tell you
parents
that.
are great. Her parents are awesome. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine. It's just getting, a lot of adjustment.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
sold a lot of stuff. We've gone down to one car. I know we're selling our other car, just to kind of cut costs and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's a very humbling experience, but good. And it's a good time of transition. So that Kristen can get the, profession that she wants to do and feels
Yeah.
called to do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's been a huge part of the last couple of months. And just,
Yeah.
reevaluating, what I do, the time that I put into different things. I was doing D&D for a while with the Comics and the Cross crew. That they were fantastic. Love those guys, but had to step away from all of that, and just
What
really
ended up happening with your? I can't remember what you were. A bard of some kind, or
I was a wood elf.
wood elf. Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you kick the bucket, or did you just like ride off into the wind?
No, basically I went
Right
off
off in the
to
wind.
try
Is
to
that
go.
what you say? Right off in the
Off.
wind?
Sure.
The sunset?
Ride like the wind off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Said.
But
Right into the wind.
I
Yep.
mean, that might be a little difficult. Get a little wind in your eyes and sand in your eyes, but
Sand is coarse. It gets
I hate
everywhere.
sand.
rough course
Gosh.
gets in everything. Yep. But no, basically they had my character go off and try to recruit my people back in my homeland to try and get involved in this major battle that we were going to be a part of. And
Oh,
so
okay.
they had me go off, and so that was my leaving. So I'm not dead, and it leaves me open to come back for like a one-off if I wanted to.
Okay.
So,
So you're like a college recruiter, except you're a D&D recruiter. You're
yeah, basically.
recruiting others.
Yep.
All right.
But that's the way they left my character off. But love those guys, out on good terms and everything. But have reevaluated everything, and obviously I'm back So that's a whole lot of life that I've been living.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to go down the list of every single thing that I've been doing in terms of gaming the past couple of months and things like that, and movies I've watched. Um, but the biggest thing, and
Yeah,
I
give us
have
the
been
highlights.
the biggest thing that I have been super excited about that I finally get to talk about on this podcast is the Legend of freaking Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Uh, because this game, hands down, even with like heavy hitters like Spider-Man 2 coming out later this year, Hogwarts Legacy that came out, all of those, game of the year. 11 out of 10.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got the old 11, huh? Out of 10.
Now,
Crank it
where
up
would it
to 11.
rank on your games of all
All
time?
time.
If it's 11 out of 10, it's got to be up there.
Number 2.
What's
Yeah,
number 1 again? I
one
forget.
is still Ocarina of Time for me, just because
Oh,
I have a
okay.
lot of
Yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
memories
Mm.
associated with that. But yeah, in terms of how good the games are, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom.
You're out again. Sorry to say.
Back.
Oh,
Eh,
Hello,
almost.
hello.
Now you're coming back.
Coming back.
There he
there you
is.
are. You're back.
Yeah.
It's like
Goodness,
you're tripping and falling in a hole, and then you're just like crawling back out, and you're like, "Hey guys, sorry about that. I
I
slipped."
dropped my mic. Sorry, guys. I'm back.
I may go ahead and not now, but I may try to go and reboot the router and everything, try to see if that'll help, because that's no bueno. But anyway, yeah. So Tears of the Kingdom, absolutely fantastic game. The art style is beautiful as always. Just from moment one, just was automatically just sucked into the environment. Um, the fact that this game actually has like legit dungeons, which was kind of lacking in Breath of the Wild. These are awesome, and they're very well, woven into the story. The fact that like the building stuff that you can do with the new system that you have what's called the Ultra Hand, which is like, you basically can create any sort of vehicle or weapon or something like that. So you can create a whole bunch of different things. There's tons of videos that are dedicated to all of the things, good and bad, that people have created in this game.
Oh yeah,
because apparently there are a bunch of dirty minded people out there.
what?
Yeah.
I had no idea those people
Those
existed on the
gutters.
internet.
Yeah.
Mine's
Those
in the
gutters.
Oh, the
They're
gutters.
just gutters walking around. Hey, I'm a gutter. How are
I
you?
mean, you could probably create that in the game. Who knows?
There's a gutter over there.
Let me clear out the leaves and debris from you, stupid gutters. But no, all sorts of fun stuff that you can make with these things and traverse the world, and plus the fuse ability that you can use, where you take items in the environment and you can fuse them to any sort of weapon, which beefs up the durability of the weapon significantly. Because durability was a major issue with like people complained about it. They didn't like the durability of weapons. So this kind of alleviates that a little bit without completely getting rid of it. But the world is much bigger. There's like 2 worlds stacked above and below Hyrule. So there's like sky islands that you can go up to and explore and everything. And then there's like major cataclysmic events. So you go down underground. And there's all sorts of things to explore and fight down there. Yeah, man, this game is fantastic. I've spent about 60 hours in this game.
All right.
It's literally, as of recording today, it's been a month since it came out. And so I beat the main story, which infinitely improved over the first one. Over Breath of the Wild was kind of lacking in major story meat. But yeah, they stepped it up for this one for sure. It's just so much more fun. It was great. It's great being in that world. like I said, I beat the main story, and now I am seeking out what's called the shrines. There's like 152 shrines throughout the
Riddler
world.
trophies.
Thankfully, it's a lot more fun than Riddler trophies.
What are the last ones? The other one had the cocoa nuts or the Kuroko nutters?
Korok seeds?
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah, I'm not even bothering with those.
They have those again,
They have them again.
and they mean nothing again.
Oh, it's so spoilers.
It's even worse than nothing.
It's oh my gosh. It's
Spoil the
nothing
crap out
stacked-
of it. We don't care.
It's nothing stacked on nothing.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Oh, man.
So I think I remember telling you this one time that if you collect all 900 Korok seeds that are in Breath of the Wild, now granted you can expand your inventory slots in terms of like weapons and materials and things like that. So that helps. But the major thing that you get in Breath of the Wild for getting all 900 Korok seeds is a little trophy that is shaped out of a piece of Korok poop.
No. All right.
Yeah.
Neat.
So obviously people were very upset with that.
Clamoring for that one.
And so now there is 999 Korok seeds in Tears of the Kingdom. And the reward you get is a double stacked golden piece of Korok poop.
Oh, come on. They're just playing with you guys.
I kid you not. Like the ultimate troll. It's ridiculous. Now,
Wow.
the consolation for just how crappy that is now there's like different little side missions where you can save Koroks in the environment, and basically they're like Koroks that are like, I'm trying to get to my friend, and you have to like transport them over to their friend using like the builded vehicles and stuff that you can make in the environment. But what Nintendo, I guess, didn't realize is how much you can actually go about torturing the Koroks with the vehicles. Like you can set them on fire, you can shoot them off into the space using all the vehicle. Like there's all sorts of like just terrible things you can do to try to torture these Koroks. So I think that's consolation for the crappy
right.
rewards you get at the end. But no, other than that, there's a lot of fun side missions that you can do. Like I said, I'm questing for shrines right now. Each shrine has its own sort of little mini puzzle room that you go through. So it's not just like Riddler trophies where it's like, oh, you found the trophy and that's it. And there's like other little side quests that lead into finding a shrine that make it interesting. So, yeah, I absolutely love this game. It was definitely worth the 6-year wait to play the game. But yeah, for the most part, that's mainly what I've been playing for the past month.
All right.
And of course also continuing on with Fortnite, playing with the guys, and enjoying the new season. We got Optimus Prime in the game as a playable character, a shrunken Optimus Prime, but still
I was gonna say, how big is he?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Just a
He's
normal
like
player
regular
size
Fortnite character. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, having a lot of fun with that as well.
Nice.
But yeah, that's been pretty much me without going into every single little detail.
Well, you got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But welcome back. It's good
Thank
to have
you.
you back.
Real quick, I don't remember if you mentioned it in your update of moving, but you moved states, right?
Nope, still in the same state.
Oh, okay, you're still in
Yep,
Virginia.
Just
Did you
moved
move
towns.
cities?
Yeah, I'm only about 8 to 10 minutes from where we were living.
Oh, okay. It's like an 8 to 10 minute move. I don't know why I thought you were moving. I think it's because multiple people have moved in Discord, so it started to run together who was moving where, and yeah.
Yeah, no, the distance wasn't too bad. It was just downsizing and purging.
Yeah, and downsizing everything. Oh
Because
yeah.
even in like a 2-bedroom apartment that we had, like we still had tons and tons of crap.
Oh yeah.
Amassed over
It's
the
easy
years,
to
so.
accumulate.
But yeah,
All right.
That's it for me.
Patrick, what's
Hi.
up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you
Great.
doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm getting
Good.
a cold.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm getting
No.
scratchy throat.
Oh no.
Don't let my intro throw you. fool you. Throat you. Gosh, what- Deepity, that's all, folks. Don't let my intro fool you. My throat does not feel nice, but
Well,
I'm powering through.
you're doing a good job. Doing a good job.
Covering it
Thanks.
up.
Yeah. So past week on the life front. So let's start with that. The kids had vacation Bible school, summer Bible camp, whatever.
Ooh, cool. Vacation
whatever.
Bible cool. That's that the new name they gave it so the kids like it more. We gave
Learn
it a
about
cool new
Jesus in the
name.
Bible?
Vacation Bible cool.
Don't let my intro fool you. My throat also hurts.
Sure.
One of the things and it was really, really cool because my kids went, and then my nieces and nephews went, my friends' kids went, Mel's friends' kids went. So it was like there was a lot of
Nice.
kids that we knew that were there. And one of the parts was they asked the kids, who in your life, they were talking about how back at like John the Baptist and the disciples, they're all like, living for Christ, being Christ-like and things like that. And, who in today's world would you view as being Christ-like? And there was some real good answers. But my son said John Cena. And I was like,
All right.
I'm like what? And he's like, yeah, because he does all those Make-A-Wish Foundation things for all the kids. And I was like, okay, all right, I can see that.
Completely off track.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
can see that. And then my the kids that my wife babysits, so her best friend's kids, watches them like every week, at least once a week. And they both said Aunt Melanie. So
Nice.
she was that was their
Shout
their
out to
choice.
Mel.
Yeah, I know that was really cool. And I was like, John Cena or Melanie, which one do I think is a better
It's
answer?
a toughie.
Yeah. So we had Vacation Bible School this past week. And then on the movie front. So I watched 3 movies this past week. The first movie I watched was Blackberry. I don't know if you've heard about this, but it is a documentary type of movie, kind of like Air, where it just gives you the backstory of how Jordan's shoes were created and how they had the contract with Jordan. This was how the Blackberry was created and the
my
rise
gosh.
and fall of Blackberry. It was so interesting. Very, very interesting. Very well done. The Glenn Howerton he's from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he's one of like the guys that's just the main characters, and he was one of the main characters in this Blackberry movie. He was just this businessman who tried to promote this Blackberry, this phone in your pocket, and it just revolutionized things. And just seeing how high they went up and just how far and fast they fell off the face of the earth. And basically it was just the iPhone 4 or whatever, for the first iPhone that came out back in 2007, I think it was, or 2010,
something like that.
2012. I don't know, whatever the first iPhone came out, pretty much killed killed the Blackberry. It was wild, absolutely wild. Really, really good movie. If you saw Air, or if you like those types of movies where it's based on true events, I think that's really, really interesting movie. I would give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 keyboards.
I think we
Nice.
need more movies where they just take inventions and take things that we've made across the ages and just make a drama-mentary or docudrama.
Yes.
Like the
I would watch
invention of
them
a
all.
wheel, the invention of toast, sliced bread. I want to see that.
Mhm.
Like, who invented sliced bread and not
Make it
Darth
a
Vader?
drama, make it a thriller.
Yeah, make
it
drama. I want to see. I just want to see the drama play out.
Yeah,
You know, that's interesting. I hadn't heard of the Blackberry movie, but
yeah.
Everything's
That's
history.
That was
Everything's
new.
a story.
Well,
Yep.
yeah. Speaking of true events, I watched another movie called Fast X.
oh yes. Let me interject something real quick before you get into Fast X.
Okay.
One, I totally did not. I'm so disconnected with some things that I did not even know that movie came out. Two, I went to see a movie this past week, and before this other movie started, they showed like a summary of all 9 movies before Fast X to lead you up, and they gave all the spoilers. Like they were like
all the movies.
They were like, then this guy dies, then he comes back, and then this guy does this, and then this guy does that, and my kids were just like, oh, like they're watching all the spoilers, and then this guy drives off into the sunset, and then this, and it's all in Portuguese. I'm just like, they're giving away all the spoilers to Fast and Furious, and it ends, and I just look over the kids. I'm like, well, you guys don't need to watch all the Fast and Furious. We can just go to right to Fast X or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
it was crazy, man.
I mean, so
it's
all
I
about
love the ride anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well, it is. It throws logic to the wind.
Yeah.
And
into the wind.
The logic of it
to the wind.
Yeah, exactly. You know, ride the logic to the wind. And it was one of those movies where like, man, that with how like we've seen 8 Fast and Furious movies, and the spinoffs. And so, you know, they continue to get more outlandish, and they continue to get better and better in my eyes, because of they were aware of how ridiculous their storylines were. And so I'm watching Fast X. I watch it with my wife, and it's just had a different feel to it. It felt like they were just trying to jam pack away like 10 movies worth of characters into one, trying to incorporate them all. The jokes just fell flat. They felt forced. Like Fast 9, they went to space, and like it was like, how can they really top that? And they didn't. They really didn't top it. They had some pretty awesome action sequences and things like that. You know, that's what they're known for. But they kind of replayed some of them, and I was like, I've already seen this, you know, kind of thing.
It looked like it in the trailer that they did that.
And then the movie just ends. It felt like after watching like Dune, where Dune just ended, the movie ended, and I was like, that's like the first half of the book or whatever. This is what it felt like. It just ended, and I was like, oh. Like I gotta wait like another 2 years or 3 years for the sequel to this to come out, because there was like 4 storylines that were in the movie that just you didn't get no resolution, and so it was just as a standalone movie, it was awful, absolutely awful. Like I wish I could have watched another 2.5 hours, like make it a 5-hour movie, and then I'll watch it. Because it was just
awesome.
I mean,
maybe if the movie seats are toilets and you know all that jazz, but
the movie theater would smell
5-hour movie.
Heavens, man.
No, you're like watching it, all of a sudden you just hear flush, like you just hear down in the middle of the movie.
Quiet,
like,
everybody.
Yeah. Imagine being the ushers for that movie theater.
Oh my gosh! I'm out of toilet paper over here. Could you refresh me with the toilet paper?
No, I can't.
No. Oh yeah, no. So yeah, Fast X was a toilet. I mean, it really was.
You know, there's gonna be a toilet. There's gonna be a toilet. They're gonna come out with, once they come out with these movies that are too long, they're either gonna have to go back to back in the day when they had intermission. You know, like back in the day when you watch like the 10 Commandments, some of those older movies where they actually had an intermission to give you like 10 minutes to go to the bathroom and do things. They're going to have to either reinstitute that, or they're going to have to make theaters where they have toilets. Because I also, just to give a little hint of a movie I watched, we loaded up on popcorn and, pop and all that jazz. And my daughter went to the bathroom 2-3 times. Sorry, too much information probably, but just it was a longer kids movie. That's also for adults.
You can't drink liquids for like 2 days before you go to the movie theater.
No, you can't. You have to stop. It's just like going to an all-you-can-eat churrascaria or a really good restaurant where you want to eat as much as you want. You have to stop eating. So, yeah, same for this.
Completely wring out your bladder.
Let me tell you how the human body works. Eating chips is like stretching.
Exactly.
Yep. So watch that. And then on the gaming front...
Wait. You got to rate it. You can't just leave it. Just be like, Fast X. I need a number to go with your...
It was a 5 out of 10. It was
so sad, man.
It was.
This is the 10th movie, right?
Yeah.
Hence the X.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I figured that, but
Yeah.
I just was
It
in
was
doubt because you
because
said something about 8 movies before, and I was like, "Oh, wait, where's the ninth
as a
movie?"
standalone, it was just awful.
Wow,
I
5 out
just
of 10.
like
How the mighty have fallen.
you have to get the sequel to actually see these storylines, pan out, because this is like the first time they've done this, and it was just jarring, and I didn't particularly like it.
So I think the only way they can go from here, time travel.
Right? That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking with how do you top space? It's time travel.
Time travel. Yep.
That's the only way. And once they do that, it's just going to be like, this is a fever dream. Like,
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's the last movie. So
The final frontier.
Just do it.
Just go back to Fast and Furious.
No,
the original.
Vin Diesel let it slip that it's no longer going to be part 1 of 2. It's going to be part 1 of 3.
Oh my
They're going to
gosh,
do 2 more
seriously?
movies. Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Making a trilogy out of the
they're
already.
making $1 billion every single time they release a Fast and Furious movie. They're not going to stop until the actors are like, no more. But
So
I
is
can't
this
imagine them saying no more, because they're also making money, more and more money every single time they do one.
So they've essentially made the FFCU. Definitely leave the C in there because it's
Final
cinematic.
Fantasy Cinematic Universe.
Fast and Furious Cinematic Universe. Or the FFU, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea.
That's what this meant. That's what this movie felt like.
The unveiling of the FFU. Like, wow, thanks, Vin. We appreciate that. Hey, I mean it. It's all about family.
It always means
It's the family. It's the
guess
FU,
you
actually.
have
It's Family Universe.
Oh, man. And they went hard on the family thing. It's like,
oh, I'm sure they did.
It's so hard on it. I'm not just like, oh gosh, we know it's all about family.
Well,
But when you're like long lost brother, and then your mother, and then your son, and then your
cousins, brothers,
your cousins,
uncles,
like show
dog
up, it's like
catchers.
Yeah, we all have families. What's going on here? Like, I don't know. But yeah, so on the gaming front, still been playing WWE. I haven't talked about Apex in a while, and I want to talk about Apex Legends for the first time in a while. This is the 17th season of Apex, and for 15 of the seasons, I was able to get to platinum rank in competitive. So it goes from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, and then Apex Predator. Apex Predator is like the top 750 players in the world. So I've
you haven't reached that rookie numbers.
Well, so I've never once I used to get the platinum, it was a whole nother league of players, and I'm more of an average to above average player, nowhere near these pros that were anywhere above the platinum. So once I hit platinum in competitive, we would just play public and just play against just other teams or whatever. This season, Justin and I decided, hey, we're only going to play ranked. We're not going to play anything else. We're going to learn how to get better. This is our season, and so we got to platinum. We're like, okay, let's see how this is. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. And we just had to change the way we had to play. So we played more defensively offensive, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah, that makes total sense. Clear as mud. We like to push. If we hear gunfire, we want to go fight, because that's why we play. We don't want to sit around. And so we look for fights, but if we're going to look for fights, we got to be very strategic about it. We got to have like a defensive character that can put up barricades, put up walls, so that we're able to have cover in any sort of scenario. So we started to do that instead of just fully offensive characters. We have an offensive character and a defensive character. So we changed that, and since then, since we're now into these more like, I don't know, I wouldn't say pro lobbies, but they're more competitive, a little bit more difficult. We got past platinum, and now we're in diamond. And so each rank, there's 4 tiers.
So it goes from tier 4 to 1, and then after you've done 1, you get to the next rank. So right now, we are in Diamond 3. So we're in the second tier of Diamond. We're about a little less than halfway to Master rank. And so we had a couple wins last night, which really helped. And it just feels like it feels fresh. It feels like I'm playing a different game because we're playing differently. So really excited. I've like last night, like my watch asked if I was working out because my heart was pumping. It got me so that kind of competitive excitement. So I'm really back into Apex a lot.
Cool.
So
now,
really
Nice.
exciting.
just to clarify, just because pretty much everything I've ever done ranked, which is only like Marvel Snap and Rocket League. I don't think I've done ranked with anything else. Is it like a ladder? So if you lose, you'll start stepping back down and you can go back into platinum and all that jazz.
No, you can't. You can tier down. You can't rank down. So I can't go back down to platinum, but I can go back down to Diamond 4.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that because in the other ones I've played, like you can just you can bottom out if you aren't careful.
Yeah. So
all right.
so that's it's been really fun and looking to
Cool.
The goal is to get the master, and so it's really hard because it costs points to actually play around, and then if you don't get in the top 10, then you don't get any points, you lose points, and you could easily just rank down, and so or up tier down. So it's a little hard, so we have to be very strategic, but it's been fun, really fun. And then the last thing I played for about 10 minutes was the Lies of P demo. And
me too.
I was like, oh, okay. The first like 5-10 enemies. I'm like, okay, I got this. And then I get to this much bigger enemy, and he 3 hits me and I die. I'm like, well, I'm deleting it. That's enough for that. I know, like, I was like, man, if this would give you a little bit more forgiving. I'm more of a hack and slash kind of guy. I can't do these things where you parry and dodge and parry, one hit, dodge and parry and dodge and parry, one hit and then dodge. Like I can't do that. It's not fun to me.
It's a Soulsborne game, basically.
It is
through and through.
That's why I didn't even bother. Like I saw the gameplay of it, like I watched it, and because I was thinking like, oh, free demo, yeah, sure. And then I watched the gameplay. I'm like, no, I'm gonna hate this.
You already knew.
Yeah.
Well, I also played it, and I am 100%. I 100% had the same exact experience. I was running through, and I'm like, knocking out these guys, like trying to figure out I struggled with the controls for some reason. I don't know why. But once I got the controls down and started using what weapon did you start with? Did you use the balance?
The balanced, yeah.
Okay, I did the second one. I did dexterity.
It was the fencing thing.
It was
right?
the rapier. Yeah. I was like, oh, let's just try something different. Because every time I see balanced, I think of Mario and Mario Kart, and I'm like, I don't want Mario. Like, I want Yoshi. I want Toad. I want like someone with a little bit of flair.
Right.
So I went with the dexterity. Thought I would be like quick and nimble, but it still feels clunky. Like you just feel, I don't know. And that's the thing with the Souls game, like you're talking about it's not just. I do dodge and parry just fine with Dead Cells, with Hades, with other games that are semi 3D or 3D like. But with the Souls games, it just feels sluggish. Like I don't feel like I'm in control. It's very methodical, but it's not fun methodical. Like, Guitar Hero's fun methodical. This is just like, like just you're pressing buttons and it's not reacting.
How long did it take you to figure out that there's not a run button?
Oh my gosh! I was like clicking it down. I'm like, run, Pinocchio! You stupid
It's so
puppet.
slow. Stop
like,
jogging.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
It was super annoying. I was like clicking the stick, be like, okay,
I was clicking all the buttons.
Run button? Where's
I gave myself some health. I was like, that's not the button.
I was like dashing forward, but you can't just like spam the dash button. You don't do anything. So
yeah, you lose stamina when you do that.
Yeah, I was just like, it's just reskin Souls. It's like, no, thank you. Like at least with like Elder Scroll.
Yeah, Elder Scroll. Are you talking about Dark Souls?
No, what's the big one? The Ring.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Oh.
Wow, I'm just totally.
Well, they're all
Anyways,
the big one, basically.
Elden Ring, you have like all these different characters you can try as. And in this one, it's you're Pinocchio, and you can pick one of 3 swords. I'm sure stuff unlocks maybe, but this seems like a step back. Like Elden Ring took it a step forward, so if Pinocchio is going to take it a step back, I don't see this game being like, a big deal. People are going to want more of the Elden Ring experience now with the Dark Souls games. So,
Yep.
Yeah. I lasted to it's really a beat cop. Like he's just a larger beat cop with a little baton.
Well, it was crazy. Like the like 3 enemies before you get to the big boss or the mini boss, whatever it is. It's like, go up to them and hit your quick strike to take them out in one hit. I'm like, oh,
did
sweet.
you get it to do that? I couldn't get it to get that.
You have to be like breathing on their neck for it to happen.
Because I just started jabbing at him. I'm like, where's the insta kill or whatever for sneak attack?
So then I saw that the mini boss, and he's like not facing me. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go kill him.
Sneak
just
up
like,
on him.
Yeah, because that's what they just told me for the past 3 enemies.
Yeah.
So I went up, and then he just turned around, and that was the end of the game for me.
Yeah. That happens.
Anywho, but that's it. That's about it for me.
There you go. All right.
Cool.
Lucas, what about you, buddy?
Hi. Well, I already shared I played the Lies of P demo, and so there you go. Lies of P. That's it. That's the last we're going to talk about it, unless we talk about don't eat yellow snow. Actually, do eat yellow snow. Lies of P.
You should tell Ronnie about it though. He might like it.
No, yeah, for that definitely. He
might. He played.
Yeah.
He played Elden Ring, so he might do it, but he's not going to get a multiplayer thing going with Eric so I don't know if he'll.
Diablo 4 is his life right now.
Speaking of Diablo 4, that is also my life because I got it and I'm playing it.
Nice.
Yeah. So I decided to go day 1 with Diablo 4. I haven't done day 1 on a Diablo ever. I first got in Diablo in college back in the old 2000, straight up the year 2000. In the year 2000. I remember I was in college, or maybe it was 2001. I don't remember now. Actually, I say I remember, but I don't. I do remember guys playing Diablo 2 in the dorm, and I was like, at the time, I was just like, "Oh, what's this devil game?" And they're like, "Dude, you're hunting down and killing the devil." I'm like, "Well, sign me up. Let me try it."
There you go.
And I never looked back. I played Diablo 2 through much of college. Love that game. I did go back and play Diablo 1. It was a little less fun and not multiplayer, and so I didn't really care for it as much. There wasn't a lot of enemy variety or anything. But when Diablo 3 came out, I wasn't playing PC at the time, and I don't think they went right to console. I don't remember. But at that time, I didn't have like a PS3 or the consoles that it would have been on, so I didn't get in on it day 1. But once I did get Diablo 3 on PS3, I did get the platinum on it and really enjoyed it. I played through Diablo 3 with Chris a year or 2 ago, and I think we got the platinum in that as well, if I remember right. And so I really enjoyed the Diablo games. So with this one, with Diablo 4 coming out, I didn't get to play the demo, but I kept up on it. Ronnie talked about it, and I was like, you know what? I want to go day 1 with Diablo 4 and see what happens. And I did it, and it's been fun. Like, I haven't been able to play a whole lot. Most weekday mornings when back in the day, I used to play during the week, early mornings or lunch or whatever, and I just don't have that freedom, and I need my sleep. I will say that I've played a couple times. There was like 1 or 2 days this week that I got up early and played, and then a day or 2 later, I was watching TV with the kids or the wife, and I definitely fell asleep in the middle of episodes of stuff. And people don't appreciate that when they're like watching a show with you, and then they look over like, "Hey, what did you think of that part?" And you're just like, just snoring away, and they just they want to they get angry at you, and I don't want to be like that. So I've tried to not overdo it, but there's been a couple times a week I've been able to play, and I actually have played with 3 different characters. Like, I started out playing the Necromancer because in Diablo 2, when I first started playing with guys, I tried out the Necromancer, and I discovered this move called Corpse Explosion. And pretty much what it does is it causes all the corpses, like all the dead bodies of your enemies, to turn into landmines. And it's super powerful. So I would be playing with my friends in college, and I would just walk into the room and just start exploding the corpses, and it would just it would make everything just die. And my friends were like, that is so cool. So I got very much like into the corpse explosion move. And so that's the first thing I did. Like I got my necromancer. I named him Ned the necromancer, and just started leveling him up. And I noticed right away that there are way more options of moves that you can pick from. And so you have, at the beginning, you only have one hot button, and then every 2 or 3 unlocks, you get another hot button. You can have up to 6. I think I've unlocked 4 with the necromancer, 4 or 5. But by unlock, by hot button move number 4 or 5, like I have at least a dozen options of different moves, like power moves I can pick from, like using, raising skeletons to life, getting like bone armor, throwing bone spears, exploding corpses, poison stuff. Like there's way more options than I remember from Diablo 2 and even Diablo 3. And what's kind of annoying is in Diablo 3, I remember you could switch between the different moves. And this one, you have to use your points to unlock it. And in order to try out a different one, you have to buy back the skill points. And at first actually till now, I've only been able to figure out I have to buy back all my points and then start the skill tree all over again to try something new. Instead of just being able to toggle back and forth between 2 moves. I was like, why'd they do that? Like, that doesn't seem like a good idea when they give you all these options, right? Does that make sense?
That doesn't make any sense. Like, you feel like can you reset them and then just...
Yeah, you have to reset it, but it resets everything. Like I haven't been able to figure out and I find that the menus are way more confusing than Diablo 3. Like Diablo 3 felt like navigating the menus, it all just kind of made sense. And I don't know if it's just getting used to new menus, but I found myself like just staring at the screen and pressing buttons and nothing happening or the wrong things happening. Maybe it's just getting old. So it's a sign of old age or something. It's quite possible. And there might be, so if you're playing Diablo 4 and you're screaming at the podcast right now saying, Lucas, it's so easy to switch moves, I haven't figured it out. So you can feel free to tell me in Discord, let me know how to switch it out correctly. Because as of right now, when I want to try out a different move, I reset my whole skill tree and then I just start click, 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 like unlocking the ones I want. And I find it to be very tedious. I actually, after starting one character, I started 2 other characters, a sorcerer and a druid. And I just looked up what's the best build and just started unlocking the builds. I just wanted to play. So it seems pretty cool. Like I've been enjoying it. I haven't played with anyone yet. Oh no, that's not true. I take that back. I played with Jaredor from the Married to the Games family, and he has a rogue, which is kind of like a shadow assassin stealth character. So we played together and it was fun. We just talked and, killed stuff and looted and all that jazz. So, but it seems like the story is pretty much the same. The graphics are not, there's only so, I don't know, advanced you can get the graphics to look. The cutscenes are very high quality and very grotesque. There's definitely lots of intestines involved and blood and
gore,
death and gore and all this. And I'm like, I can watch these alone. But when the kids come upstairs, I'm like, skip that one, skip that cutscene. Yep. At least like when I'm running around in the overworld, like everything's small enough, it just looks like you're squashing bugs. So it's not as big
it doesn't look as real as the cutscenes.
Right. But when you get the cutscenes, man, like it's in your face. Like, And so, not for the faint of heart, not for those who get squeamish with that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that's all I've been playing. So it's been pretty fun. In the real life neck of the woods, I did go see a movie twice over the past 2 weeks that I need to mention. I didn't mention it last week because I knew Ronnie wouldn't talk about it because he hadn't seen it yet. But I think Marc has seen this movie, and that is Across the Spiderverse.
I have indeed.
Indeed.
Saw it on the first day of release.
Yeah, you were right on the cutting edge. I think I saw it the second day of release. Did it come out on a Thursday or Friday?
It came out on a Thursday.
Yeah, so I saw it Friday of that
Yeah.
week, that same week. And the first time I saw it, I went out with some like this, like a half a dozen to a dozen guys from work. We started a little group at my school, and we called the men's group the He-Man Wife Lovers Club, as opposed to the He-Man Woman Haters Club, which I started to call it, and I was like, this seems a little harsh to call it the Woman Haters Club. So I don't like the
Because
word
we
hate.
don't.
No, exactly. We don't.
Right.
We don't hate them. So I made it the Wife Lovers Club, and of course, then I said it to some people, and they're like, "How many wives?" And I'm like, "Just our own wives we love. That's all. We're not getting that weird." So
We're not Mormons here.
yeah. This is the He-Man One Wife Lovers Club. So we started that group, and one of our first outings was to go see Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse. Now, we did have one guy that he hadn't seen Into the Spider-Verse, so he was totally lost.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh,
And I was
no.
like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't care. I just want to hang out with
That's
you guys. I'm
Ronnie.
like,
Did you
"That's
go with
fair."
Ronnie?
No. Yeah, he flew down. Surprise, Ronnie flew down to Brazil and went to see Across the Spider-Verse with us.
That's
So-
dedication.
Dude, I loved the movie. The movie was the most how do I it sounds so weird to say with an animation. I've seen so many animated movies. This is the most like amazingly artistic, just eye candy sort of movie I've ever seen, where it's just like it's moving art, like it's true animation, art in motion. Like it's amazing. Like it's just, I can't undersell how amazing they did. It sounds very, silly to say amazing with Spider-Man, but very
It's funny
on
because
the
like
nose.
obviously I went with my extended family because we were actually at the beach. We were in the Outer Banks when we saw it, and we talked about it after the fact. And my father-in-law was like, he's like, I liked it, but I'm having a real hard time kind of getting my mind around because people like their idea of cartoons or animation like is like Looney Tunes and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
this is like way beyond that. This is like
Oh yeah.
expanding horizons of what you can do with art and animation. And so you can really make it serious and not, I mean, cartoony, but like not like slapstick cartoony.
Mhm.
They do a really good job of telling a great story with excellent art.
Yeah. Like one of the guys in our group, he's the art teacher at our school, and he was blown away. Like, and he was just talking to us about the different art styles and the way they should clash, but in the movie they make it work, where they complement each other. They tell so much emotional storytelling, not just through words, not just through what, the acting or the acting as it were, but through the colors and the art. And it's on another level, man. Like I've just never seen a movie that effectively does this kind of high art in the midst of like a comic book movie or like something that's kind of off the wall, crazy, multiversal, this stuff that I just, it's hard to put words into it, and you just have to see it. Like it's incredible. So I loved it. I give it 10 out of 10 easy. I don't know if I give it 11 out of 10, but partially because it's not complete.
Yeah.
So I think they've already made it. I think, is it spoilers to say it's a trilogy? Like if
they announced well ahead of time that this
they
was gonna
announced well
be-
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually went in blind, so I didn't know it was a trilogy. So I went in and watched and was like, how are they going to wrap this up? And it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's really long for an animated flick. Like some kids will definitely not be able to make it through without having to go to the bathroom or without getting bored. Because there are some really I watched it the first time with these guys, and the second time I watched it with my family, but the night before we watched Into the Spider-Verse to kind of refresh everyone. And Into the Spider-Verse is really clean. Like it's paced very evenly, and Across the Spider-Verse is much more like there are great set pieces, there's great action, there's great Spider-Man moments, but then it's like for every action moment, there's a conversation that is really fascinating and really good, but it slows down the movie a lot. And there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of explaining things, but the concepts are just, even the second time around, like all of a sudden I started seeing like Multiverse of Madness. I started seeing different movies that we've seen in the MCU and the connections they make, and yet the different direction they take with those concepts and ideas. And it's super fascinating, like really good. I am pumped for Beyond the Spider-Verse for next year. And so I can't sing the praises enough of Across the Spider-Verse. Recommended.
Yeah, it's nice. You only have to wait until March for the next one. So
yeah, it'll come out on my birthday.
There you go. Yeah, this was my I was talking to I think it was somebody in the Discord. I think I had mentioned like these are officially my between Across and Into the Spider-Verse, my favorite Spider-Man movies. With like No Way Home just under that, but they tell a great story. They pull from a heck of a lot of Spider-Man lore, and again, the art direction, like this is some of the best stuff I've seen. So can't recommend it enough.
There's so many points where it felt like VH1's pop-up videos that I just wish I could have paused the movie so I could read like the things they pop up, the info, the different Spider-Men. Like, it is nuts. And it's nuts to think that all of those are based on real comic book Spider-Man characters. Like Spider-Man, T-Rex, Spider-Horse, like just the animals alone. It's just, they're everywhere. And I'm like, these are real? Like,
they even had
crazy.
They even had the crappy looking popsicle, the Spider-Man popsicle.
Yes.
With the dumb eyes. They literally had him as a character in the movie. It was crazy.
All the Easter eggs and the connections they made. Yep. So great movie. Besides that, that's all I got. School year's wrapping up. We have had finals, and the last, I think tomorrow's our last day of school, and it just lasts till like 10:30, and then the kids will go home, and then Wednesday we have some final meetings and final different things, and then we're flying to the US this Thursday.
Crazy.
So this time next week we will be filming stateside, wherever that is. I don't remember right now, but I'll be coming at you from Ohio. So just around the bend.
I'm so sad. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see you this time around.
I know. Yeah, between everything going on and all that.
Bummer.
Yep, for sure. All right. But what's not a bummer is in Discord, we have some joiners who have some updates for us, some thoughts. I can't talk about that one yet because that has to do with another episode. Kakalaki Whitney stated the obvious. Is Marc back from sabbatical? Yes, he is.
He is.
Mr. Whitney. He is back.
In the flesh.
Chris Craig Corey Smith said, heck yeah, Marc is back. He was very excited. So he made sure to tell us all.
I guess.
Yeah. Kakalaki Whitney then stated his update. He said, here's my update. Life is hard. Has been a long, stressful weekend, but rather than focus on the stressful, let's celebrate the good. My daughter turned 5 today. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Little Whitney, Little Miss Whitney Jr. That sounds accurate. So happy birthday. Happy 5-year-old birthday to Whitney Jr. Gaming's been slow. Haven't really done much besides a few runs of the new Ghost of the Deep Dungeon in Destiny 2. After watching the new Spider-Man movie last night, though, I'm probably going to hop into those games. You better hop into those games.
So
dude,
good.
You owe it to yourself to play Marvel Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Those games.
Play the remastered Spider-Man because that has the better Peter Parker.
Absolutely.
True that. Don't play 50-year-old Peter Parker.
Don't listen to Mark.
It makes me beyond angry that I really want to play Spider-Man 2, but I know that I'm going to have to see that stupid remastered face.
Old man Pete is gone. Go blow off your PS4 and play that If you
No,
want.
that old
I
man
will.
Pete from the first game, he looked like he was a stock character that you haven't edited in the character creations.
He looked like Uncle
Yeah.
Ben, actually, when Uncle Ben was younger.
Yeah, and the remastered version looks like
Uncle
budget
Ben
Tom
Peter
Holland,
Parker.
So
It's a real person.
Yes. Wow, look, he looks like a real person. Amazing.
yeah, he looks like a little boy
I know.
compared to the age of what he's supposed to be.
Oh man, he said I missed all the shows this past week, so literally watching SGF now, then Xbox Showcase. Well, that's good.
Oh.
And after you do that, you can join us for our games episode where we're going to talk about that. What's the better bacon? Wait, okay. What's the better bacon, Canadian or turkey? Hashtag ask GMG.
Neither are bacon.
Yeah, they're fake bacon. They're faking.
Canadian bacon is like it's just fried ham, right?
Sorry,
And
that was a cough
bacon-
sneeze.
Turkey bacon
Wait,
is
say that again. I need you to
leather.
back up.
Sorry, Canadian bacon, isn't that just like fried ham?
I mean, does it have
like
to be fried for it to be
fried-
Canadian bacon?
fried
It's just
bologna.
ham.
It's
It's
just,
just
bologna.
ham.
Yeah, I don't not Canadian bacon.
Now, turkey bacon is like
I can-
reconstituted. Like they took the turkey meat
Yeah.
and then they like put it in a blender and reformed it to look like bacon.
no,
right?
it's compost bacon. They just take a bunch of
Yeah.
ground up,
So
throw hot dogs that have been thrown away over the years, and they just turn it into turkey.
yeah, I like Patrick's answer. Neither are better bacon. Just bacon is the bacon. No faking. Where this is no faking.
You can't
club.
fake and bacon. You know what
No,
I mean?
yeah, you can't faking bacon. Hashtag
No.
not my bacon. Faking bacon.
Not my bacon.
Not my bacon.
I'll go with that.
Wait, who asked that
That's
question?
That's a great title of the show, by the way. I think I don't know if
Bacon,
there's
bacon.
like 3 titles, but I'm gonna vote that one. Hashtag not my bacon. So
You know, I
thanks,
noticed
Bacon
that-
Survivor.
I noticed that like the past several episodes that you guys have done since I've been gone, all like food titles. Like
We're all about that. All about that bacon. All about that food.
Yep. I got food instead of family.
Now I will say,
Food.
just go back to this fake bacon for a second. I mean, I have to go if I have to pick between the two. If the question is what's better, take out the word bacon because neither of these are bacon. What's better, Canadian bacon or turkey bacon? It's Canadian
What's better,
bacon.
Canadians or turkey?
That's true. I just thought about it once I took out bacon.
let me talk to Sean Capri and find out.
Yeah.
Do we know anyone from Turkey? Because if we don't know anyone,
We
who do we know
do.
from Turkey?
Oh, he's on their Discord.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
isn't
not
the
from
missionary in
Turkey.
Turkey? Oh,
Okay, but
well,
he lives there. He's not from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Close enough, you know.
Oh, that's true. He's the closest thing to a turkey.
Yeah.
What do you call them? Turkian? Turkish?
Turkayan.
Turkayan? Turducken?
Turduckins.
That sounds like a derogatory term. What a bunch of turkeys.
What a bunch of turkeys. What a bunch of turduckens. I'm going to have to go with Canadian bacon as the better meat because turkey bacon is compost and it's fake.
Yeah. I will disagree and say turkey bacon is better than Canadian bacon.
I will say I can't have either of them. So there you go.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Chris judges
fair.
you, Patrick. Can't believe you turned your back. Speaking of Chris, this isn't in the Discord, but he wrote me the other day and he said, by the way, Kraft peanut butter is the best peanut butter. And I'm like, what the
Wait,
craft
peanut
are you
butter?
talking about?
They have Kraft peanut butter?
Exactly. In
I
Canada,
thought they
have-
only did macaroni and cheese.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. But he showed me what is it called? A graphic? No, I just put in Kraft.
just a
Chris.
picture?
Yeah. Like he showed me a graphic and it shows 4 peanut butters. First, it shows Organics Crunchy peanut butter, which is blah. It has
You have to
one
shake
ingredient.
it up.
It's freshly roasted organic peanuts. That's the ingredients. That's it. Nothing else is in it. I mean, who
Gotten
wants to
acclimated
eat
to
that? It's like dust, peanut dust. Okay.
Actually, it hasn't been that bad because I've had to eat specifically organic peanut butter. I can't have
Yeah.
the normal stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what?
It
You're
depends
probably
on what
right.
You get.
I
just-
have protein powder peanut butter. Just add a little water to it and stir it up.
That I won't
That
even
just
touch.
sounds
It's-
gross. That sounds like instant coffee,
Tastes-
like where you got the
tastes
coffee
exactly
grounds
like-
and you add water.
Exactly like peanut butter. Tastes exactly like it.
I don't believe you.
I-
I don't trust your
Oh.
taste buds, Long John
Right.
Silverman. You're going to test me when I get there, and I'm going to tell you how wrong you are.
You sit there in your wrongness.
Yeah. You just roasted your wrongness. All right. Anyways, Kraft extra creamy peanut butter. Here are the ingredients. Select roasted peanuts. So, like, they're sitting there, and they're just like, this is in. Yes. Ooh, no. Put that back. This one's
Nailed
in.
it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Second ingredient, sugar. That's good. We need sugar in peanut butter to make it good. We don't need no sugar. Sprinkle a little sugar in
With
there.
sugar is the third ingredient.
No, it's the second ingredient. Select roasted
All right.
peanuts is first. Sugar is second. Hydrogenated vegetable oil. Salt. And then get this. This is the best ingredient. Fancy molasses.
Oh,
Yeah.
fancy molasses.
I've never heard of fancy molasses.
Yeah.
That's
Not-
not molasses. It's just molasses. What
not
makes
the
it
molasses
fancy?
from the slums? You know, you gotta get
Yeah.
the fancy ones. You know,
This is like
from Beverly
Gucci.
Hills.
Gucci molasses.
Sounds
Or
like
where do you
either-
get your molasses? Dubai.
Louis
That's where I
Vuitton.
get it.
Dubai.
It
Dubai
sounds-
molasses.
It sounds like either like some sort of music act from the 50s or like a gangster. Like,
Yeah.
fancy molasses. You know,
Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
see here, fancy molasses is gonna come after you. See here.
All right. Then the next one is Skippy Smooth Peanut Butter, freshly roasted peanuts, soybean oil, maltodextrin. Yes. Then we have icing sugar,
Wait, hold on.
not just sugar.
Is
Icing.
Skippy? I feel like that's like only if you're in like fourth grade you're allowed to have Skippy.
Well,
Like, I
yeah,
don't-
you just
I
say the
don't-
name. Skippy. Like, get out of here with your Skippy. But yeah, they do have icing sugar, which that
Sure.
sounds good to me. Hydrogenated vegetable oil and salt. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Now, here's the creme de la creme, Jif creamy peanut butter. Buckle your safety belts for this list. It gets magical. Roasted peanuts. They're not selected. They're not fresh. They're just roasted
grab
peanuts we found in the back that we got out
we
of a
are
box.
impartial.
Yeah. So roasted peanuts, check. Sugar, check. Molasses, not fancy, just slum molasses, sorry. Partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, just partial. In parentheses, soybean. Then fully hydrogenated vegetable oil. And we got rapeseed and soybean. And then mono and diglycerides and salt.
You gotta have the Bohemian Rhapsody in your peanut butter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jif for the
Real
win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
all the things that don't naturally grow on Earth, we got Jif
Can't
just
have
for
that.
you.
That's why it tastes so good. It's a
We
bunch
don't
of crap
select
in
our
it.
peanuts. We don't get them fresh. They're just Jif peanuts. And
Put
you'll
it on the
like 'em.
box.
Put it on the box. We don't have fancy molasses, but we're Jif, and you'll pick us over everybody else because we're the best. You're right, Jif. I'll still pick you above Skippy. I would like to
Like
try
you.
Kraft, though, I will say. I'm not sure I'm going to try your add water and eat the fresh, crappy peanut butter, Patrick. I don't believe you. It tastes just like peanut butter. Yeah, right. That's fake news. Get that out of here.
When you believe it tastes like peanut butter, it will taste like peanut
You can
butter.
believe anything.
If you
got
believe
these-
hard enough, anything
I
is
got this hush
possible.
puppy dust. I got these crumbs from hush puppies. Just add water. It tastes like real hush puppies.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
Have you seen those people that they're on a diet and they're eating broccoli but sniffing Oreos? Like that's what it's like.
That's hilarious. I need to see that. Oh my gosh. I did pray the prayer the other day. We were eating in our small groups with the 7th graders. We were eating Doritos and Oreos and chip, like every unhealthy thing you can think of. And before we ate, I was like, "Can I pray?" And like, yes. And I was like, "Dear Lord, please make this crap broccoli in our stomachs," because that's pretty much the only prayer we have, is that it turns into broccoli by some transfiguration thing, like, I don't know.
It's a
So
Tim Hawkins joke. Lord, turn this carrots into Cheetos on the way down.
it works. It works both ways. Yep.
Mhm.
I definitely got a tummy ache after that meeting. So, all right. Well, I think that's all from us. You can feel free to write in, joiners. Thank you, joiners, for those that did, that wrote in, told us what's going on in your neck of the woods. We do have some quick housekeeping to cover where we fluff towels.
Housekeeping?
Dang it, I did it wrong. Fluff towels, you know what I mean. We're just fluffing towels, topping with Andy's candies, and tipping you off to how to connect with the GMGU on Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. Occasionally, you can find someone associated with our Discord on Twitch. It might not be any of us, but it'll be someone that, claims us. So check them out on Twitch. Patreon and our merch page. You can gear up with us. You can support us. Click that one link to rule them all. Linktree.com/thegmgpod. Of course, if you can't toss your attention or a coin to your podcasters, but are still the giving type, you can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Spotify. And if you want your voice to be heard, not just written in the written word, but in the spoken word, you can call us at 929-GMG-GUYS. So please do so. We would very much appreciate it. Alrighty then, Marc, who's here, along with Patrick, who's also here, the ghost of Mr. Ron Johansson, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.
2, 3, 4.